All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a grape that, well, it basically smells like a Portuguese garden right after a rainstorm hits the coast. We're uncorking the amazing, super aromatic, and super refreshing white wine known as Loureiro.
So, to really get what this wine is all about, let me ask you something. Have you ever just stood by the ocean and wondered, what does this place taste like? What would a vineyard taste like if it was right here getting hit by that sea breeze all day? Well, guess what? Loureiro is pretty much the answer to that question, right in your glass.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. A sommelier put it perfectly. They said, Loureiro personifica a frescura, a vivacidade y potencial aromático exuberante. I mean, how poetic is that? It basically means it embodies freshness, life, and this huge, exuberant aromatic potential. That just nails the energy of this grape, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What makes this wine so special? We're going to start with its identity as basically Portugal's aromatic secret.
First things first, what exactly is it? Well, Loureiro is a white grape that's native to that super green, lush part of northwest Portugal. You know, the Vinho Verde region. And right away, its name gives us a huge clue about what's going on inside the bottle. Loureiro actually comes from Louro, which is Portuguese for bay leaf. And yeah, that's a hint about one of its signature smells. But that bay leaf thing, that's just the start of the story. Seriously, smelling a glass of Loureiro is like a whole symphony. You get these gorgeous floral notes like orange blossom and violet. Then bam, this explosion of fruit hits you. We're talking peach, apricot, bright citrus. It's that whole mix that just makes it so inviting and complex from the very first smell.
So you're probably wondering, where do all these incredible aromas even come from? Well, to get why Loureiro tastes the way it does, you really have to understand where it grows. This isn't just a grape, it's a wine that is completely, fundamentally shaped by the Atlantic Ocean.
And this is where it gets really cool. It's all about this push and pull, this duality. On one side, you've got the climate. It's cool, it's damp, thanks to the Atlantic. That slows everything down, so the grapes ripen gradually, and that's what locks in all that incredible high acidity and freshness. But then you look at the ground. It's granite soil, which doesn't have a lot of nutrients. This forces the vines to struggle a little, to work harder, and that struggle concentrates all the flavors. Plus, that granite gives the wine this amazing stony mineral backbone. It's this beautiful tension between the sky and the earth that makes the wine just pop.
You know, what's funny is that Loureiro wasn't always this big star. For a long time, it was kind of a background player. Its journey is this awesome underdog story, from being just one ingredient in a blend to finally getting its moment in the spotlight.
And you can see that story right here. For centuries, it was just there, a key part of Vinho Verde blends, but nobody was shouting its name. Then, something shifted in the late 20th century. People started getting curious about unique local grapes. Winemakers had new tools to play with, and a few visionary folks looked at Loureiro and thought, wait a minute, this grape has serious star power. They started making it all by itself, and boom! Today, it's celebrated for making some of Portugal's absolute best, most expressive white wines. And once they rediscovered it, they realized just how versatile this grape is. It's like a blank canvas. Depending on what the winemaker wants to do, Loureiro can be made into a bunch of totally different, really cool styles.
Okay, check this out. It basically breaks down into three main styles. You've got your light and fresh. This is the classic style you might think of. They pick the grapes early, ferment it in stainless steel to keep everything zippy and crisp. Then you have the aromatic and complex style. Here, the winemaker waits a little longer to harvest, maybe lets the wine hang out with the lees, those are the yeast cells, to build more texture and body. This version is richer, deeper. And of course, with all that acidity, you bet it makes fantastic sparkling wine. Crisp, bubbly, elegant, just perfect.
So yeah, the winemaker is basically a conductor. They have this amazing instrument, the Loureiro grape, and they can choose which parts of the orchestra to feature. Do they want the bright, zesty violins? That's the fresh style. Or do they want the rich, deep cellos? That's the more complex, aged style. Every choice they make, from when to pick to what to ferment in, completely changes the final performance. Their role is absolutely crucial.
All right, enough of the technical stuff. Let's get to the good part, right? What happens when you actually get a glass of this in your hand? Let's talk about tasting.
So when you pour a glass, the first thing you'll see is this pale kind of lemon green color. Then give it a swirl and a sniff. You're going to get hit with that intense orange blossom, some lime, and for sure that trademark bay leaf smell. Then, when you take a sip, wow. The first thing that hits your palate is that bright, vibrant acidity. It's not heavy at all, light to medium bodied, and the finish is just so refreshing. And listen for this. Often you get this little salty mineral note at the very end. That's the Atlantic saying hello.
And because of that acidity, oh man, this wine is a total rock star at the dinner table. I mean, it's practically begging for seafood. Oysters, grilled fish, sushi, sashimi, you name it. It's also perfect for classic Portuguese dishes like arroz de marisco, that's seafood rice, because it just cuts right through the richness. It even works great with Asian food, especially things with citrus and spice. Honestly, it's a sommelier's secret weapon for a reason.
So where does Loureiro go from here? It's had this incredible journey, from being hidden in blends to becoming a solo star. And its future looks super bright. But it's not going to be a completely smooth ride. There are some challenges ahead.
Okay, so you've got your challenges. Climate change is a big one, because rising temperatures could mess with that all-important acidity. And of course, it's a crowded market out there with lots of famous white wines. But then you look at the opportunities and they are huge. People are actively searching for unique, authentic wines from cool places. Loureiro is exactly that. And its versatility and the fact that it's so good with food, that makes it a serious contender on the world stage.
Which brings us to the big question, right? With everything it has going for it, this incredible aromatic personality, this deep connection to its home by the sea, this chameleon-like ability to be made in different styles, could Loureiro be the world's next great white wine? I think it's got a real shot, but, there's only one way for you to really find out. Go find a bottle and decide for yourself. Cheers to that.